Good evening. I welcome you all to this Sunday session. Last time we had started chapter 1 of the book Theosophy Explained. The chapter 1 is what Theosophy is. Today we'll continue reading the same chapter, studying the same chapter, discussing the same chapter, the part 2. Before we get into the discussion and the talk by our dear speaker of today, let us do the universal invocation. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. Silence, please. Come back. So today, as we continue the chapter 1, part 2, we already had a portion of the discussion from the chapter 1, what Theosophy is. Last time, Brother Adi Keshav Shastri had explained it very beautifully, simply, and with many practical examples and aspects. So let us discuss it further with him once he completes his talk, his presentation. Any query, kindly put it on the chat. If there are no such queries, then we would end the session. And at the end of the chapter 1, we will have an open question answer session. So over to you, Adi.
Yes, good evening, one and all. Last week, we had a discussion about what exactly Theosophy is. Because people are curious and they ask a lot of questions when they want to know something about the theosophical aspects of life. So today we will start with the part 2 of what is Theosophy, the first chapter, and it is the second part, and we have one more part, and that will be dealt with in the next week. Okay, so here now we will discuss something about the advantages of studying Theosophy. So the first question that is raised every time is, what is the advantage of spread of Theosophy? People ask me wherever I go, people ask me a lot of things. The first thing they ask is, why do we want to propagate the idea of Theosophy? You see, before we study that, so the advantage of spread of Theosophy should be considered. Before that, before considering the spread of Theosophy, we should consider the three main objectives of Theosophy. The first objective, as you know, is to form the nucleus of the universal brotherhood of humanity without a distinction of race, creed, sex, caste, or color that we all know. And for a beginner, to explain the advantages, this is to spread the universal brotherhood, the idea of a universal brotherhood of humanity is our first target. And the next objective is to encourage the study of comparative religion, philosophy, and science. And as you know, the third one is investigate the unexplained laws of nature and the powers that are latent in man. So, the advantages, whenever somebody asks, what is it? Yes, the first one, to form a nucleus of universal brotherhood. So, whenever somebody asks about that, yes. So, this is the first one. So, for this, we have to propagate Theosophy. Here, you should note beautiful things here, without distinction of race, without the distinction of creed, sex, or caste. So, based on this, suppose if you say to anybody that this is our first objective, the first question they would raise is, how is it possible to have a universal brotherhood when persons of even the same religion quarrel amongst themselves? Yes, there is this practical question here. And the practical question is required also. So for this, how can we, especially through Theosophy, we can create a brotherhood when there is a lot of hatred, lot of intolerance amongst different sects of people. So for this, we have to understand, to achieve this universal brotherhood, which is the first objective of Theosophy, we should understand the second objective of Theosophy. The second objective of Theosophy, as you know, is encourage the study of comparative religion, philosophy, and science. You see, basically, why this especially this sentence of the comparative. The word comparative is a very must here, because as you know, we have studied a lot of other religions. We also tend to study other ideas, but only think with a lot of prejudice in our mind. Yes. You see, we have a lot of our own inhibitions. So keeping those inhibitions in mind, we study other religions. So again, we always, think of the negative parts, because I have some faith. And if you say something against my faith or against the belief that I have, definitely I wouldn't be interested to study. So the comparative religion, the study, is the study of the religions or the philosophies or whichever science that we know, without a prejudiced mind. That is most important. When that happens, definitely there won't be, because you see, I have studied both Christianism and Islamism. The way I studied it through the eyes of a Hindu and through the eyes of a real theosophist, definitely there would be, and there were a lot of these things. Because as a follower of certain beliefs, as I told you, dharma is nothing but set of beliefs. And when my belief is hurt, definitely I would not take that. There will be a resistance taking into that. But when I study as a normal being, so without any prejudiced mind, especially considering the religion that I'm into, these things won't arrive. So this gives us real brotherhood. So when we say that to a person, so they say, where lies the advantage then? Okay, I study, definitely I study a lot of religions, other religions also, with a non-prejudiced mind. So what is the advantage then? Definitely there would be advantages. Once, as J.K. told, without anything, if you study, what happens is, the study of comparative religion again has two parts here. The first one is, when we study any religion, we will come to know that the origin and essence of all religion is the same. This is very important. Yes, the origin of any religion for that matter, and the essence it has is the same. But obviously, it is told or it is manifested in different ways, because all religions teach us the same truth and they inculcate the same ideals of conduct of life. For example, I have seen it. You take up any religion, that religion has the same sets of rules. And those sets, I'll tell you in the next slide. Yes. That is, how is that possible when different religions apparently differ so widely? This is the question. Okay, I understood that. Okay, I comparatively studied and I came to know that, okay, everything, I mean, the beginning and the principles that they are in, they are the same. So when we know that, but still all religions, they differ so widely. It is a true thing also. Yes. Can I ask you a question? What is the basis of all religions? Yes. The basis of all religion is something called the immanence of God. The immanence of God. So all the religions that exist in this world, they revolve around a term called God. So I'm calling it as God. You can call it by any name. Yes, you can call it by Devta. You can call it by some other name. So everything revolves around it. And this revolution is basically revolves around something, the methods by which a man carries on his search for God. Yes, it's a true thing. Because whichever religion you take, the center point is God, and the different religions give different methodologies to reach some unknown thing. I would rather tell, let's not call it as God, some unknown thing which people call it as God. So that is the basis of all religion. So number one, God, the methods to reach for God is the basis of all religions. And every religion gives variety of ideas. Sometimes, definitely, I have comparatively studied 2 or 3 religions very seriously. Sometimes I laugh at the varieties of ideas, those, whether it is Hinduism or Christianism or Islam, whatever it is, it gives variety of ideas in a different way. Sometimes as a theosophist, I laugh at those ideas because those ideas, they are from the basic levels. Okay, so every religion gives us the variety of ideas, and this point is to be noted that any religion you take, it is planned to appeal certain race and the people from certain cultural backgrounds. This is very important here. Take up any religion, the variety of ideas that they give, the varieties of ideas those give, again is very much dependent on the race and the cultural background. And not only that, they're also dependent on the demography of where the religion was born. Okay, so say for example, this is the example I always give to students, the young people who tell what is the different religions. What do they tell? Yes, you see, different religions have, or let's say when we culturally, when we are, let's say, let's consider this moon. So when you see moon as small kid, the moon is Chandamama for you. So whenever you didn't eat, your mother would show him Chandamama. So, and you would have your food. So This is how a moon looks for a young kid. Now, the same moon for a poet, definitely, that whole thing, moon becomes the aspect of love, the, a symbol of love. So look at the difference. Same moon, one for it, Chanda Mama, he always comes in night. He always loves you and he makes you laugh, he makes you smile. And for a poet, Chanda, Chandra, Chandira, or Chanda, whatever you call it, he is symbol of love, broken heart, everything. And the same moon for a scientist is nothing but it is a dead interplanetary thing. So it is dependent. Now we can say the same moon has different meanings, and it is how you perceive moon. Now, for example, you are a scientist and you have a kid. Now you are showing it Chanda. You know that Chanda is not Mama because the light that he's giving is not his. But still, you would become a child to tell him, look, Chanda Mama and all these things. And even, being very rational also, you are also a poet. You call it Chanda re more patiya leja, sajan ko pahuncha de re. So, you know that these things, as Kalidasa said, he can't take your, love words to your partner. That is true. So, same thing. God in any religion has different levels. For beginners, there is some God. For intermediate people, there is some God. The same God. And for the intellects or the men who have come up, the God is different to them. So, every religion has the same problem. And as you know, for rishis and munis, this is God. We call, they wrote it as Chandra as God. Okay, so all these stuffs are there. So different people with different perspectives. Every religion is on that only. And the same thing applies here. Let's consider a caveman. Okay, for this caveman, okay, everything, whatever you do, whatever a caveman does, it is nothing but the notation of God for him is food. Because his God revolves around food. So look at the uncivilized people. They had also concept of God, and those gods were crocodiles, which they prayed so that they should not hurt him, or lions, or some other things, so that they should get some food. That is what the main aim. And the same men, we were cavemen, and the same men, we have passed so many lives, and we have dealt with all those things, and we have achieved something called an evolution. Okay, when we have it from here, caveman, modern man, our perspective of God has changed because of the experience that we have gathered from so many lives that we have laid down, and our cultural aspect, it has changed because cavemen, they were not very social. So when the social thing began, you see, first we had an individual God, then there was a little bit of grouped God. Even today we have that. You see, we have not left caveman things. Yes, we have something called Kul Devta. It is only for our Kul, our own this thing. And we have our own home God or the God of our village. So the same thing is not left. We have that also. It has come from, it is in our genes. It has come because we also had this caveman we were also cavemen during our evolution. Next important thing is the notion of God. It became more spiritual rather than physical as we have developed our intellect and morality. Yes, two things, intellect and morality. They have this, these two words, intellect and morality. Yes, these are the main aspects. Now, when you have this, because of the development, this has all occurred. So everything is interlinked. The concept of God for us is interlinked with the evolution, with our evolution. I'm talking about only men, because we have thoughts, and definitely our future human generation will also have thoughts. So the notion has changed, and this has created, this evolution of humanity has created a stronger intellect, and now, right now, we can discuss an unknown thing called God in a different way with a great intellect than our predecessor, that is the caveman or the other people. Okay, so this is how the things go on in the religion. Yes. The other thing that we have to know is the apparent differences that are there in the religions. Yes, we do have, definitely we can easily observe those apparent these things, and this is based on, number one, the demographic criteria. Definitely the religion has to do with the demographic area, because the God of a particular religion has something to do with the soil. Number two is, yes, God, or the difference in religion. Now, the religion, when I say God, it is nothing but religion, because religion revolves around God. And it also depends on the cultural and racial criteria. You can see Islam, you can see Zoroastrianism, you can see some other things, or you can see Hinduism, or there are other cults in Hinduism. They all have to do something with their cultural and racial criteria. For example, we find Isis, the Greek god of education, the knowledge, and we have Ma Saraswati here. So Isis and Ma Saraswati are totally different physically, if you look at. Okay, so everything is cultural, because we call the goddess of Saraswati, okay, Ya Kundendu Tushara Hara Varada, Ya Shubhra Vastrangada. So for us, she has that white cloth, which symbolizes the purity, the knowledge. And in some other cultures, there are other aspects, the same thing. So the third and important thing is, yes, everything is also based on something called the survival criteria. Definitely, this also is very important. God, the religion for us, is nothing but a survival tactic also. The more our religion people are, we are more strong. Again, it is also scientific, survival of the fittest, as Darwin told. Yes, survival of the fittest. So to become this, we have to have a strong religion. And to have this strong religion, we have to have the strong beliefs. And to have the strong beliefs, we have to have more strong cultural and racial criteria. And that comes through demography. Yes, this is my demography. This is where I dwell. These are the things. So, the comparative study of religion can be easily put in a word. The truth may be expressed in 100 ways. Definitely. I express in one way, you express in one way, maybe in different languages, but Yes, the truth is one. And the ultimate center point, the God, however you explain it, it cannot be explained, it cannot be fully explained by every religion, because it is expressed in a different way, and the depiction of it, it loses its quality when it goes on to the next generation. That has happened, that's what happened with all the religions. I propagate a theory, and when it goes to the next one, whether it is lack of communication or lack of understanding, or the lack of the inability of a propagator to correctly propagate it to next generation, these are the main factors. And this is true, and every religion, it has its own characteristic of perfection or keynote. So there is one perfection. The other things may not be perfect. So a religion, according to Theosophy, is nothing but something, a knowledge which is not 100% true. Some of the portions may be true. The other portions, either because of the long exposure to different levels of people, or the inability to propagate, have, it has gone out. That is how it is said. Each religion, it gives its own message to mankind, that we know all. Every religion, irrespective of their perfections and imperfections, they give their own message to mankind. So comparative study of these religions must be based on these things. Number one, we should understand, yes, the truth is expressed in 100 ways. Before we study any religion, we should make it a point. And definitely the second point, every religion will not express the term God and other things fully. The third thing is, each religion definitely will have a perfection or keynote. The other things may not be perfect. The reasons, let's forget about it. And each religion has its own message to mankind, which we can easily put it as. So the study of all religions is necessary to know the many-sided truth as it is explained in Rig Veda. Ekam sat vipra bahudha vadanti. It is done in two ways. Ekam sadvipra bahudha vadanti. Ekam sadvipra bahudha vadanti. The one, sadvipra, the good people, the learned people, the good learned people will tell it in different ways. Or ekam sat, the truth is one. Vipra bahudha vadanti. The known people, the intelligent people, the intellectual people, they tell it in different ways. So this is in Rig Veda. Ekam sad vipra bahudha vadanti. So every religion is same. Okay. Now encourage the study of comparative religion, philosophy, and science. What we have to do? Number one, we should understand that no particular religion is in sole possession of the truth. Yes, look, I belong to this religion and my religion is completely true. May not be true. That we have understood in our own Vedic literature. Yes, because religious texts are some things which change their character every few years. We have had certain kind of negative. In that age, it was good. That was perfect one. Today, it may not suit. So that is how we always tell that it is no, if you have a religion and if you think that your religion is perfect, no, it cannot be. Now, number two is, one does not feel prejudiced against the other religions. So this is how we should study. No prejudicing thing. Third important thing is this leads to the brotherhood, which can be practically, realized. Yes, I belong to X religion, and I am studying your religion, Y religion, and I don't have anything, whether good or bad, to say about it. So I am studying, it is purely based on some comparative studies. So it is not to say that I like your religion or I don't like your religion. I am prejudiced. I am not prejudiced. So when you have that, then definitely there would be brotherhood and everybody would understand the other religions properly. Sometimes you are not given a chance to study some other religions because of a certain kind of, certain kind of inhibitions. So comparative study of religions brings about the brotherhood. So whenever somebody says, why do you see, we have a lot to study in our own religion. You study, but also comparatively study. Take one thing and comparatively study with other things. So that's what we have to say to the other people who ask this question. Now, the next question that would come is, how are the essentials of religions are same? If truth is found in every religion, why does it appear so dissimilar? Yes, Baba, we said in the last one that yes, truth is there. But why is it so dissimilar? Because my idea of truth, because I have an idea and that should be the perfect definition of the truth. But why is it always dissimilar? For that, look at here. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. See, whenever you have to study, I'm sorry. You see, religion, as far as I know, okay. Look at these words of Bruce Lee. This is a wonderful sentence by Bruce Lee. Yes. You see, truth is like water. If you put water into a teacup, it becomes the teacup. So you cannot say that, yes, water is the teacup. It is in the shape of the teacup. Or if you just leave it on it, it flows. Sometimes it stands still. So water is water. But that is the truth, ultimate truth. The religion is like a vessel. Whatever the shape of the vessel I use to put water, that becomes that. That is the difference. So instead of thinking about the water inside the vessel, what we do is think the shape of our vessels. And we get prejudiced. No, for me, the water, it is like, that for blind people and elephant story. That's all. That is what religion is. That's how a religion looks for us. Okay. And make this. Okay. Make this. Each religion marks a step in civilization and also bring out some future valuable to mankind. Yes. The religions which are all formed and which will be formed in future, definitely they bring out some future valuable things to mankind. And there is something in each faith which dominates the rest. Its central idea or keynote. this has what spoiled the total religious aspects. Yes, there is some central these things, and it gets diluted because the central idea or the keynote of that is wasted. Okay, so the next question is, what are the central ideas or the keynotes of world religions that are known so far? Yes, there are so many hundreds of religions, as you know. Okay, and these hundreds of religions, they have some central important points. So what are those? Those can be, for example, let's not go deep into dharma, Hindu dharma. Let's have some few points. Okay, the first one is Hindu dharma enhances the doctrine of immanence of God. Yes, in three ways. One is Advaita, Dvaita, or Visishta Advaita, whichever you follow. Okay, and all these Advaita, Advaita, and Visishta Advaita are the same thing, but told in a different way. Those are the things. Yes, Hindu dharma emphasizes the belief in accepting the truth wherever it comes from, whoever it gives, whoever the truth comes from, he is guru. And those who understand or who seek truth from others, they become shishyas. Like sometimes Shankaracharya became the shishya of Chandala. That's how it happens. So it is accepting the truth. The third and important thing is Hindu dharma emphasizes, yes, the universal brotherhood. But in the last we say, Sarve vai sukhinis santu, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, nakastit dukkha bhag bhavet. So nobody should be under distress. Everybody should be happy. And universal brotherhood, again, the greatest idea that we have, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Wow, what a beautiful thing. Okay, these are the keynotes from Hindu dharma. Suppose if you take the Greek Tehuti, the one of the religious aspirant told it. His main was science, the study of man and the world around him. Here, instead of God, it was more practical. It was more man, the world, man around him. What do we have? What all these things? That was given by this religion. Then some religious Zoroaster proposed purity of thought, purity of word, purity of deed. Yes, everything is one and the same. Whether it is man, the world around the man, here purity of thought, purity of word, or purity of deed. And they propose doctrine of fire that we do in Jyoti Puja. It is the symbol of God because fire is the purest form, they thought. So it is, the emphasis is in purity. What is purity? Again, it is nothing but the God. Okay, what is the world around us? What is emphasized? What is everything that is engulfed? Again, God. So every religion, and again, for example, one of the Greek philosophers, Orpheus, he told the beauty which is divine. So he talks about divinical beauty. Again, nothing but the God. And here we have in Rome, we had the beauty by law. You see, divinity and law, they are the same because law, something abiding, which is morality. So Rome people, they give the morality, the more on the law and the information, that is the morality. And these Greek people, it was beauty. That is why you can see a lot of beautiful sculptures there. The gods are so beautiful there. Their perception of God is beauty. So everything is same. And if you say the Buddhism, very practical this thing. Yes, right to knowledge of wisdom and right knowledge of compassion. These are again morality wise, more practical way of understanding a religion rather than theoretical one. The Hebrew religion, the righteousness of God. Yes, the purity of God. Same thing, everything is same. And you take Christianity. Christianity gives more stress on service. Let's forget about the other parts. That's what I'm saying. Let's consider the Islam. Islam, resignation to the will of God. Yes, that is how it happens. Complete surrender to God. So we have, they're all like flowers of different colors. And every flower is not same. Every flower is not used for the same purpose, but they are used for different purpose. But when they are put together, they look beautiful. That's how the comparative study of religion we should take. Okay, because they say in the Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna says, the mankind comes to me along many roads, and whatever road a man approaches me, on that road I welcome him, for all roads are mine. It's a true thing, because you have in Bhagavad Gita, if you say, it starts from Sankhya Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. You see, these are the steps. Sankhya Yoga, it all depends upon the Tark. Sankhya, to understand the more physical knowledge. Then comes Karma, Bhakti. So there are so many ways. And many people have adopted to it. And whoever has adopted it, definitely they will reach the same path. Same goal. So the ultimate aim, if you consider God as the center point of a circle, definitely the periphery is nothing but all religions. So every religion revolves around something called God, which is unknown to many yet. Okay. Now, the next question is, so you have spoken, it's very good. People ask me, very good. You have comparatively studied. So is Theosophy a religion? The answer is yes and no. Theosophy is the basis of all religions, number one. Number two, Theosophy, as a Theosophist, I believe in conduction in accordance with the divine will expressed in law of nature and avoid infringing with it. So there is a law that controls everything, and I am a part of it. I am a manifestation of it. So I'll not infringe it. I'll move according to that only. That is what a Theosophist says. Okay. So sometimes Theosophy also becomes a religion, as it shows the paths, different paths to achieve the supreme human goal by a definite conscious effort. So sometimes it is a religion, sometimes it is the basis of all religions. And yes, this is very important in some religions, and most of the religions, our belief is what our ancestors gave us. But Theosophy recommends that not to believe anything with a blind faith. Never believe anything. Let's understand. Let's study it properly and then let's do it. Okay. Yes. Suppose, okay, I'm very much impressed. And do you have any objection that I follow particular religion? Because I have seen most of the people in Theosophy, they belong to certain religion, some kind of one religion. So is there an objection? The correct one is, anybody with any religious beliefs, caste, creed, anybody can be part of Theosophy, but the only thing should be, they should be ready to understand the total knowledge without any prejudice. So whenever we are studying, keep the religious aspects aside. Philosophy and religion, they should not mix with each other. Okay. The next question people ask this, are there any points of differences between Theosophy and what is ordinarily called as a religion? because we say theosophy as basis of religion, and also sometimes it acts as a religion, then this question can be answered in two ways. The first one is, okay, theosophy does not demand blind faith from its followers. Definitely, being theosophists, we know no uniform, no certain things. Even you see, a lot of people in different lodges, they don't come to the Bharat Samaj Puja. So we will never say, hey, come and you have to attend that. No, it is their wish. Number two, they are asked to know a thing by experience, reasoning, or intuition, or suspend judgment about it. This is a very important aspect also. Yes, whatever you study here, you have to get it by experience, reasoning, or intuition, or else suspend the judgment about it. No problem. Okay. And the second point to be considered here is theosophy does not convert or ask to change their religious beliefs. It has never said. For example, most of the people in most of my speeches, when I go there, I'm against the idol worship. I tell them I don't go in for idol worships, but I don't have any other feelings. This is what I tell them. Suppose if you invite me for Ganesh Puja, I'll definitely go and perform Ganesh Puja because I know mantras and I'm good at it. Because it doesn't mean that I know the worship of idols is at a lower level and I'm more prejudiced. No, you should not do it. It never does it. I never do it. I always say, good, Ganesh Maharaj, give it. I love Ganesh Maharaj. These are the aspects. So no conversion, do it. But when you come to know about it, definitely you will say, yes, it is not the thing, because God is omnipotent and omnipresent, and it doesn't have anything. He is completely nirvikar. And theosophy never says one religion is superior than the other. This again comes by comparative studies. So now the question raises, what about the third objective, which is to investigate the unexplained laws of nature and power latent in man? Definitely, sir. To acquire the knowledge about the invariable sciences existing in nature, least understood by men. Yes, there are certain things which is not understood by man. We are doing it. We are trying to do it. For example, the best thing is the evolution theory says up to man. Okay, I'm saying what next to man. The physical sense doesn't answer it. Do we have a superhuman race, species? Like today I'm called as Homo sapien. Will we have something called Homo sapien sapien? Nothing would do. So to understand that we are working here, definitely there are some laws which are not understood by the physical science. That means it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It exists. But only thing is physical science needs proof, and we are trying to do it. So this is the third one, and this brings a question. So you are against the modern science? No, we are not against the modern science, because modern science is also trying to find the way to find the extra evolutionary perspective. We are also trying to we know already what is it. So when you next you find out the witnesses and all these stuffs, definitely you would agree what Theosophy said, because nobody believed that the process of the evolution, most of them didn't believe, but only in late 1900s, it was in 1905, I believe, that Big Bang theory and all evolution, they started it, or Charles Darwin in 1860s. So it is not antagonistic to Theosophy. We or science, we call it as meta science. Okay, the next question is, then is Theosophy a science? Definitely, Theosophy is a science. Yes, Theosophy makes the study of different aspects of unknown things. So, the second chapter, the second part of this is over. So today we had, we did discuss about the Theosophy, religions, science. For science, maybe I could have taken some time, but the portions won't end. Yes, there are some scientific things. Even in evolution, the theory of evolution is more scientific. Okay, so all these things I have, I have left out. Maybe it is one more chapter for that matter. It's a wonderful thing. Like for example, one last 30 seconds I'll take. For example, the creation was very beautifully given by Kapila Maharshi, the Matrameru principles. Then no scientist, no other things were they were non-existent then. So there are a lot of things. Theosophy is basis of our religion. It is a religion by itself. It is a science, and it is more than a science. That's what the whole Theosophy is all about. So I thank the host and the other participants, though they were less. They were somewhere in 4 or 5. I thank you for the opportunity given. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was so well explained and examples were superb. Like the water and the vessel example, it clicks. It's really good. And of course, the famous story of this blind people going to see the elephant and describing it as they see it, as they feel it rather. So it definitely gives us some good example of thought and how do we look at the current religions and how should we look at those. Very good. Thank you so much. I think we would be keeping all the questions at the end of the chapter. And your presentation slides are really good, very informative and well explained. Anyone would like to add on something from personal experience? Any because we have got 6 minutes time before we go to the end prayer. Vimalji is raising hand. Vimalji, you might like to add something, please.
Yeah, so a couple of things I'd like to add. When Nicholas Roerich gave the painting, The Messenger to the Theosophical Society, Nadiad, this is what he said about, because you mentioned about the beauty which was created in the Greek temple. So he said, beauty is the garment of truth. So that's something interesting. Then the other aspect which you mentioned talked a lot about religions. So Karl Marx has said this, that religion is the opium of the masses. Now, when you look at it, what is it actually? Religion is a form of self-hypnosis in different ways. So every religion, and why we do that is because our mind causes us lots of fear, lots of worries, and that has to be calmed down, and people use different techniques, or we call them different religions. So ultimately, it is the effect of the effect on our consciousness is all we can see. So that effect is the same. But the method, I mean, everyone has got their own drug. So they have their own religion. So that's another way of looking at it, that religion is what is the effect on your consciousness. Now, coming back to the third point, which I want to make, which is when you said, is Theosophy a religion? But you were saying that it is also a religion and it is not a religion. But very, very clearly in the Key to Theosophy, HPB has said in the very first question, is Theosophy a religion? The answer is Theosophy is not a religion. Theosophy is divine knowledge. You mentioned that. Divine knowledge or science. She says that. Divine knowledge or science. So Theosophists are lovers of truth. That is how she defines it in that same question. Lovers of truth. So I think that, and what is the common thing which you have not mentioned, sir, and you should think more about that part. What is common in all religions? You did mention it to some extent, but I think an emphasis should be made on that, which is that the common thing is our common ethics, which he mentions in this answer to this question. The ethics which every religion prescribes, don't steal, don't lie, don't do this, don't do that. That don'ts are common in all religions. So we here in the Theosophical Society, why are we? I mean, you just mentioned the third object, which is we need to do that part also while we are studying, because that's part of this whole truth. We may want to feel that all that doesn't exist and what we see is all there is. That's because we are limited by our five senses. When our sensorial understanding becomes more, as we see more of that spectrum of light, or hear more of the spectrum of sound, we know that there is more truth. So we are like, right now we are at one level of development, and that is all we can see. So thank you so much for the wonderful presentation, sir, and I hope you liked my points.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you, Vimalji, for bringing out two such potential things.
Subri-
Sushmaji, want to say
Subrilina
something?
ji, I want to say something.
Please.
Can I speak in Hindi or English?
Yeah, of course, any language.
Just, Annie Besant has written in her book, Seven Great Religion of the World.
Please unmute and speak. Sushmaji, you have to unmute. Okay, I think there's some error. Her video and audio both are off. I think she has got some network error. It's not visible, audible. Okay, so yeah, Sushmaji is back. Yeah, please continue.
Oh, am I audible?
Now you're audible. Please.
Okay. So, Annie Besant has said that there are four aspects of religion. The first, preceptor of religion. Second, the ritualistic aspect of religion. And third, the philosophical aspect of religion according to time and space. And fourth, the mystical, esoteric, and occult aspect of religion. The three may be different. Philosophy may be different, but the esoteric aspect, occultism, and hidden aspect of religion are the same in all the religions. So, of God and notion of God depends the evolution of our soul. So he has rightly said that we should not condemn the other religion, because when we study comparative religion, we don't study the comparison in religion. We study the study of comparative religion, or whatever has written, whatever has specific character of that religion, we should understand that. Only then the harmony will be created. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. So what she's trying to say is we should not compare, but we should comparatively study. And what Vimalji also rightly said, what is that is common in all religion, that should be the essence of all, right? That's good. Thank you all for such a wonderful discussion. We are less in numbers, but it was definitely good a discussion. So Adi Keshav ji, you have got another chapter 1 part 3 also, right?
Yeah.
So that will be the last part, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we will see you again on next Sunday. In any case, we have a Friday session also, the Mahatma letters. So see all of you on Friday and Sunday, same time, 6 o'clock. We will end with a closing prayer. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukhabhag bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you all. We are closing the session. Good night.